Can we have a look at the footage that you've taken of the Ministry of Defence?
No, I'm afraid not, no.
Right, under Section 43 of the Terrorism Act 2000, we are able to view footage.
I wouldn't suggest. What's the need for that?
Right, just as my colleague was saying, we just spotted you on camera, you were filming just various parts of it. I think one of the things that was most concerned was the lock of the thing.
I wasn't even aware of any lock, to be fair. It's innocent filming. We don't need to do this Section 43 route. Like, we can have a chat about it. This isn't anything hostile or anything like that.
About it, that's what we want to do. It's basically,
yeah, but it's an infringement of my rights, though, if you do that.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel that exposes police overreach and breaks down the rights that keep power in check. Today's clip comes from Coleyberks, one of the sharpest auditors in the UK. Their channel link is down in the description, so make sure you go show them some support. And if you're new here, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. What starts as simple filming near the MOD quickly spirals into terrorism concerns, Section 43 threats, and growing pressure from police. But instead of backing down, the auditor stays calm, stands his ground, and dismantles the whole situation with legal knowledge and composure. Let's get straight into it, because this one escalates fast.
How you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thanks.
Good. Reason we come out here, you've
Yeah.
been seen on camera taking certain pictures
Yeah.
around Ministry of Defence.
Yeah.
One of which is the simplex lock on the car park, and also the cameras on the main building.
Right.
Can you ask the reason for that?
I'm just making a video.
Of
The New Scotland Yard, MOD.
okay. Can we have a look at the footage that you've taken of the Ministry of Defence?
No, I'm afraid not, no.
Right, under Section 43 of the Terrorism Act 2000, we are able to view footage.
I wouldn't suggest. What's the need for that?
Right, just as my colleague was saying, we just spotted you on camera, you were filming just various parts of it. I think one of the things that was most concerned was the lock of the thing.
I wasn't even aware of any lock, to be fair. It's innocent filming. We don't need to do this Section 43 route. Like, we can have a chat about it. This isn't anything hostile or anything like that.
About it, but that's what we want to do. It's basically,
Yeah, but it's an infringement of my rights, though, if you do that.
well, it's not really an infringement of your rights. We're having a chat because of you've been seen to take certain footage of certain sensitive areas of the Ministry of Defence building.
But this is all from a public place.
Yeah, but why would you be looking at the lock on the South Car Park?
To be fair, I didn't have no concentrated concerted effort looking at no lock. Like, there wasn't a.
Okay, well, we wouldn't know that unless we sort of physically.
You can't take my word for
Would you
it.
mind speaking up? The sounding.
I'm sure this.
Honestly, I really need
I'm
this.
sure this gentleman
Just speak
can
louder.
hear us. Okay.
I can hear you.
So it's not a question of taking your word for it. We need to satisfy.
You don't need
council.
to.
Well, we do, because we've been called out here specifically because the control room operator, we've seen what you've been up to there. It's obviously aroused a bit of concern from their point of view as to why you're doing.
So what do you think I'm doing? Like, why do you think I'm doing
I
it?
don't know. That's where we're having the chat. Could you tell us why you're filming it?
I don't need to have a reason. I don't need to. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, move out of the way.
I'm just making a video. It's for a matter of public interest.
Okay.
The public are interested in such things. I'm not interested in any security arrangements. This is passive filming. That's all. There's no more to it than that.
You're more than. It's your entitlement to take video or pictures.
Thank you.
What just happened there is textbook overreach wrapped in politeness. The officers approached over camera sightings, fixated on locks and security cameras, and pushed for access to his footage. The auditor stayed calm, framed it as public interest filming, and refused consent. The tension came from implied terrorism powers. Notice how the auditor refused the bait of over-explaining. By answering minimally and returning to public interest filming, he denied them emotional escalation. You can hear the officers searching for justification while his calmness narrowed their options. Because he stayed composed, the power shifted from suspicion to scrutiny. That was a legal pressure test, and the footage request cracked first. This is intimidation hitting a wall of calm facts. Legal clarity works like armor. When you know the threshold, vague pressure loses force. Study your boundaries, answer only what you choose, and keep the camera rolling calmly. Would you have shown the footage to avoid conflict, or stood firm like this once Section 43 was mentioned?
But from our point of view, you can appreciate this is the government security zone. You've got a lot of sensitive buildings here. We have had several terrorist attacks very close by, and so from the police's security point of view, they're very concerned about what they call hostile reconnaissance, where somebody might be making notes, taking pictures or footage of sensitive areas, cameras, etc., which might be of benefit if someone were to be carrying out a criminal. Or
I think that would be done covertly, though, hostile
Well,
reconnaissance.
not necessarily. No, it's done in all different sorts of ways.
So do you think that this is an act of hostile reconnaissance?
Well, I don't know.
Well, you need to go based on what you do know. I don't feel like the threshold's been met to make any sort of claim to hostile reconnaissance. Not at this moment, anyway.
Right, the threshold is we can't. We don't know what the footage is. So if we view the footage, then we can satisfy ourselves whether it is or it isn't.
But we're having a conversation.
That's our point.
I'm making assurances. I'm letting you know that I haven't had
And
any.
you're satisfied it is that person?
I haven't had like a vested interest in any of the security
But like I say,
arrangements.
that's your word. I don't know you. You don't know.
No, but
me.
this isn't a police state. Not everyone's an unknown risk. Like,
It's not a police state. It's a democratic,
absolutely,
free and transparent.
it's a
society.
free society.
But
So
that doesn't then give people carte blanche to commit criminal acts.
I'm not committing a criminal act.
I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying that within any free democratic society, there are guidelines, rules, or regulations.
and there are no rules or regulations that prohibit me taking photos from a public place.
There aren't, but then we need to be satisfying ourselves that those photographs, that footage, isn't something more sinister. And the only way we could do that is by seeing what footage.
But some intel has just come through, so you've just identified me.
Okay.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So yeah, is this for a YouTube channel or something like that? So
Yeah.
You're filming the interaction that's going on here.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? So you're trying to film?
Well, yeah.
I suppose the subsequent stuff after the initial bit. You want to film the police reaction?
Yeah, the idea is to gauge the reaction from the authorities and see if they're going to respect my rights to film. So if we can,
Absolutely, I would absolutely respect anyone,
Thank you.
including your.
That exchange reveals everything about this encounter. The officers leaned on security zone language, terrorist history, and vague hostile reconnaissance fears to justify seeing his footage. The auditor stayed calm, challenged the threshold, and kept returning to one fact. He was filming lawfully from public space. That is where pressure tightened. Notice how the auditor never let their theory become his burden. By forcing them to explain the threshold, he made authority justify itself on camera. You can hear their certainty soften once he calmly states public space filming is lawful. Because he stayed measured, control shifted toward the citizen. That moment shifted everything. This is intimidation collapsing under its own weak logic. The chessboard flipped, and the camera caught authority running out of moves. Standing ground plus legal knowledge equals authority retreat. When you know public place filming is lawful, vague pressure loses force. Learn the boundary, state it calmly, and make them justify themselves. Would you have shown the footage to calm things down, or held firm and made them justify the legal threshold?
You know, like you said, we live in a free, transparent, democratic society. But like I've said, the flip side of that is we need to protect everyone within that society to be able to go about their lawful business without fear of potential terrorist attacks, criminal activity. The only way we can do that to satisfy ourselves is by looking at the footage.
I can't. I think we can come to a resolution without that.
Well, not really,
without that
because
channel.
we don't know what you've taken. So,
I don't even know what I've taken, to be honest.
well, if we could both look through it together, and then you could refresh your memory, and we could satisfy ourselves that there's no untoward behaviour. And
There isn't, but I don't want to. I don't want to compromise my right. The whole point is it's a civil rights thing.
Well, you won't be compromising your right because you're not at this moment. You're not detained. You're not in any way.
Yeah, but I'm in a public place. I don't have to account or satisfy that I'm not here for criminal activity. Do you understand? Like,
I get where you're coming from. Mate.
Yeah.
Try and see where we're coming from as well. Yeah, we're here to do. We're trying to keep everyone safe. That includes yourselves, includes the people that work in this building. So all my colleagues, he's right in what he's saying there. Obviously, you were filmed, and it was a bit odd. It looked like you were filming. Particularly, I remember the lock on the gate was mentioned, which is a secure car park towards New Scotland Yard.
why is it so easily accessible? Like, if it's so secure, like you should have barriers that stop members of the public just kind of walking through there and taking
so
photos.
that is MOD land, so it's not public land. That part, it's actually MOD land.
But the pit,
you've got implied access. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Implied access. So as you're saying, yeah, you're filming. As as it were, in a public area.
But like, you've identified me, like, you probably know my name, like, you know who I am.
So yeah, well, just so yeah, what is your name? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm not going to give it, but I assume that it come through on the radio.
Yeah, but I want to just make sure
It will be the same person. I'd rather you wouldn't say it.
I've not met you before.
Because obviously under data protection, you can't say my name in public. But it probably will be that same name.
I'm just going to wait to see what.
But if we can come to some sort of resolution without me having to show you the footage, without me being detained, I think both of us will look better for it.
Yeah, you're not detained, like my colleague said, you're not detained or anything.
Yeah,
like
I know.
But
I'm not going to consensually let you go through the phone.
Okay.
That's my position. Like, I'm not trying to be difficult.
If it's public land, why can't someone...
It's not public land, that's MOD land.
Okay.
But you have quite access, but MOD do reserve the right to obviously revoke that access.
Is this public land?
This is public land.
Where we were was also public.
Outside this front yard, yeah.
So truly you think it was well within your right to film?
That's right, yeah. Again, I suppose there's a bit of a grey area due to the sensitivity of the building. Naturally, they're going to ask questions and prompt the reasons as to why we're here, what we're filming. They're saying that we had a concerted interest in, was it the lock you mentioned?
Yeah, that's what I remember being told was a lock.
Yeah.
Things shifted dramatically when the officers tried a softer tactic. Instead of outright threats, they framed access to his footage as cooperation for public safety, insisted he was not detained, and called it a gray area. The auditor stayed firm, refused consent, and kept the pressure on their legal footing. Notice how the auditor used their own wording against them. The moment they said he was not detained, he anchored the whole encounter there. Their polite tone masked pressure, but calm repetition exposed it. Because he never became defensive, the balance shifted from uniformed authority to informed refusal. Listen to that contradiction. This is a chess match where "you're free to go" destroys the demand for consent. Assert boundaries without emotion. When officers admit you are not detained, voluntary cooperation stays voluntary. That clarity protects you from pressure and keeps control exactly where it belongs. Would you have unlocked your phone to end the encounter or held the line once they admitted you weren't detained?
So they're a little bit concerned about me allegedly filming the lock to the MOD. So we're just trying to find a resolution. Again, this is a civil rights movement, so I can't just consensually show them the phone, give them details. As you know, we're not here for any hostile purpose, but due to the nature of what we're doing, I wouldn't be doing my job if I was to simply comply. And you can appreciate that, right?
No, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I understand completely, mate. But I appreciate what you said to your friend here. That you can kind of see where we're coming from as well. We've got
But we can have a chat. We can have a chat about it.
Yeah,
You've identified me.
That's what we're doing, and that's why, ideally, obviously, we'd like to just resolve it through a conversation, which is why my colleague did ask if he could essentially have a look at it, because then that kind of speeds things up, and he can satisfy his need to do it.
So you want to look at his footage?
My colleague has asked that, yeah.
Under what section?
I need to make a call.
Inevitably, it will be Section 43 of the Terrorism Act, where they have to reasonably suspect the person of being involved in terrorist.
It's basically like our control room has seen you taking footage of pretty much the whole building line, also down the south ramp.
Yeah.
Which is looking into, that's sort of a little bit, I would suggest, excessive for just doing,
Who constitutes what's excessive? This is all it can all be seen from public.
Well, right, from our point of view,
Google Earth could capture all those same images.
Yeah, it could do. I'm sure it can do. From our point of view, we need to satisfy ourselves that there is nothing untoward, and the only way we could do that is by you showing the footage.
Okay, I'm not prepared to do that.
There is legislation in place that would compel you to show us that footage.
But you haven't met the required threshold for a Section 43 search.
Well, what is the required threshold?
There's photography guidance on the Met Police website that says photography in itself is not grounds for a search. So it's just something you need to consider. If you want to launch with that, it's certainly something I would consider. Again, I feel like we can find a resolution without the need to do that.
What is your suggestion?
My suggestion is just to, take my words. Obviously, I've been identified.
Right, okay.
So you know I'm not affiliated to any such terrorism or anything like that. I'm not here to breach the security of the HQ.
When you say you've been identified, are you known to police then? Are you known to police?
Yeah, I suppose for doing what I'm doing, not for anything untoward.
Not suggesting that.
I'm not an angel, but
well, yeah, we're all human beings.
yeah.
Right, so you are known to police on the PNC. You'd be known on PNC.
Yes.
Okay.
This is where legal knowledge becomes powerful. The officers kept circling back to resolution, pushed the idea that viewing the phone would calm everyone down, and hinted Section 43 sat in the background. The auditor stayed composed, quoted photography guidance, and forced the conversation onto threshold, not feelings. Notice how the auditor deployed policy at exactly the right moment. He let them talk themselves into contradiction, then answered with calm legal framing. You can hear their certainty soften once guidance is mentioned. Because he stayed steady, authority lost momentum, and the informed citizen gained control. That was a legal knockout blow. This is preparation becoming protection in real time. The request sounds polite, but the law empties it completely. Knowledge always defeats bluster. When you know photography guidance, soft pressure stops feeling persuasive. Hold your boundary, stay respectful, and make officers articulate lawful grounds instead of borrowing compliance. Did you know public photography alone is not grounds for a search? Or would that security zone argument have persuaded you?
Do you want me to phone control?
Well, it's not one. They asked me to in the ring.
So again, I don't need to satisfy anything, to be fair. I'm in a public place. Some people could call this like soft auditing, or you know, maybe I'm doing more than what I need to, but listen, whatever, they got a job to do as well. I want to try to do this in a mature, grown-up way, find a resolution that's going to satisfy each party. Again, I could just exercise my right to not speak. I don't need to account for my filming or my presence in a public place. That being said, these guys have been friendly, so I see no reason as to why I can't offer them some explanation. Some intelligence has already been they've been already made aware of some intelligence. They've identified me. So you do realise I don't need to account for anything. I don't need to assist you. I don't need to. I could just stay silent. But because you've been polite,
you can be certain. You know, you've got the right to silence, but you've also got to understand from our point of view, because of the job we do, you cannot expect police throughout the UK to take somebody's word for something, because if that was the case, no crime would be solved, no crime would be investigated. I'm not suggesting for one moment that I suspect you of a crime.
Good.
What I'm trying to do, ascertain, is what are the pictures, what the images you've taken, and why you've taken them. That's all it is. And once we can ascertain that, if we saw the footage or the pictures, that there was no suspicious nature to them, then you're free to carry on and enjoy your day. But from our point of view, we need to satisfy any suspicions. That's why we've been called out here.
Sure.
And it's not just us, it's the police control room that's seen you on camera. It's raised their suspicions enough to call my colleague and myself out to have a chat with you.
I understand, but obviously I've offered you the courtesy of an explanation. I've engaged.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm within my right not to do so.
And I've reciprocated.
Of course.
By courteously asking you if I could see the footage.
I know, but again, this is what I'm doing is an act of I'm exercising my civil rights. For me to kind of comply, I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. So for me to just comply and show you the footage would be me compromising my rights. Does that make sense?
Well, not really, no. Because if I was out and about taking pictures, the police officer said what pictures he's taking, and to explain, you know, if you're taking pictures of the buildings over there, that's not an issue because it's the military defence. You know, footage of cameras, entrances, exits, combination locks.
But what could I possibly do with this footage? Like, I don't understand.
It could be footage that could be of value to someone who has got more sinister motives or intentions.
But those,
you know, that's not for us to comment. All we can do is comment on the footage or the pictures that we've seen, and if we're satisfied that that's not suspicious, then that's the end of the matter.
I see.
Yeah. So.
The officers softened their tone, praised his politeness, and kept insisting they only needed to satisfy suspicions by seeing the footage. The auditor stayed measured, reminded them he owed no account in public, and tried to resolve it without surrendering rights. Notice how the auditor used courtesy as strategy. He acknowledged the officers were polite, but never let politeness rewrite the law. That forced them to keep justifying themselves instead of controlling him. Because he stayed calm and respectful, the power shifted from soft persuasion to exposed overreach. Listen to that contradiction. This is a handshake wrapped around pressure. The smile stays friendly, but the demand keeps reaching for control. Composure equals control here. When you know silence is still a right, friendliness cannot quietly turn into obligation. To hold the boundary, stay civil, and make them prove grounds. Would you have kept talking out of courtesy or gone silent once they admitted you were not detained?
All right, they're going to deliberate now. More information has been passed through control, so...
Do you think it's legal what they're doing, Coley?
Oh, they haven't done anything yet. They haven't done anything yet. It would be illegal for them to use Section 43 power to search my phone, because in order to use Section 43, you need to reasonably suspect that someone is here for a terrorist purpose. Reasonable suspicion is based on objective grounds. Objective basis kind of pertains to facts, things they already know. So, for example, if I'd been identified as someone that was affiliated with terrorism, that would be the objective basis.
Right, okay, so yeah, I spoke to my colleague. I'm happy that we believe we've identified you, Coley Burks.
Yep.
I believe you're police auditor, you've got your own YouTube channel.
Yep.
As you are filming this interaction here, I believe that is your intention to what you're doing.
Yes.
So I've kind of steered away from the Section 43.
Excellent.
Okay, but just to let you know, we will be doing an intelligence report submission to account for this interaction that's happened here. So if you were to be doing it again, I'd officers might find that.
Don't get so close.
Put up the firearm there.
Yeah.
Other officers might find that suspicious in itself as well.
Sorry, I don't mean to
All
interrupt,
right?
but could you speak?
I'm sorry.
This isn't a photo shoot. Like they're trying to do a job. Like.
The whole interaction legally, this will also help you. So
Alex,
raise
I
your
think
voice.
you explained.
I've explained, as long as
basically
you're happy and
that's
you
what's going to
understand
happen.
No, I'm happy with
And
that.
like my colleague said, another officer
Yeah.
that you come across, they might approach it slightly differently.
Okay.
And like my colleague said, that you're on camera here because we've got loads of security cameras. There'll be an intel report going forward.
Yeah.
So you'll be on a system available for police briefings, but
Understood.
we appreciate you're one of this number of
Quote unquote auditors. Yeah.
yeah.
So there will
Whatever
be no
that means.
Section 43 use today.
Not
at this moment.
Today.
Control to all defender units, just for your awareness, there is further more police to be ordered outside.
Yeah.
There's more police auditors, were they?
Apparently, yeah.
God, you lot are busy today, man.
But yeah, and we appreciate it. I know you said earlier, you understand where we're coming from. Obviously, you are in the government security zone.
Yeah.
Threat level is increased at the minute.
We're on severe now,
we're on
basically.
severe.
The terrorism trend severe, and that's the main reason. I think the only thing that remains to be said is beautiful day.
Yeah,
Enjoy the
thank
rest
you.
of your day.
Thanks. Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
You just had something come through on the radio.
Yeah.
Something about other police auditors.
I can't.
You
say-
can't divulge.
No, it's
Understood.
what's come over the radio.
Fair enough.
It's,
All right.
police ears, unfortunately.
Could I ask you both to identify, please?
Yeah, I'm PC 2099, Ministry of Defence Police,
Yep.
based at main building there.
Yep. And
Yeah, 2105.
what does OFC stand for?
Operational Firearms Commander.
Understood. All right, gents. Well, thanks. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Right.
Yeah, we'll do.
Interaction.
All right.
All right. Goodbye.
That moment right there is accountability in action. After circling around terrorism powers, the officers stepped back from Section 43, admitted they were steering away from it, and shifted to intelligence reporting instead. The auditor stayed calm, explained the threshold, and never surrendered his phone. The pressure finally broke. Notice how the auditor deployed restraint instead of bravado. He explained the legal threshold before they made a bad search, which gave them a face-saving exit. You can hear the shift immediately. Confidence drops, tone softens, and control moves from armed authority to informed citizens. This is what happens when knowledge meets intimidation. The search threat evaporates, the officers pivot, and the citizen keeps every right intact. Knowledge always defeats bluster. When you understand the threshold, pressure stops sounding persuasive. State your boundary calmly, refuse consent clearly, and make authority justify every extra step lawfully. Did they back down because the law was clear, or because the camera made overreach too risky? Drop your take below. If you value real accountability breakdowns like this, then hit this like button, subscribe, and stay with this channel, because knowledge only matters if more people carry it.